Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the next chapter in Science B, Cell Biology and Biotechnology. Now, in our previous class, we have studied a little about the technique of tissue culture. We have seen how plants have been produced with the help of tissue culture, and we've also seen how stem cells are used for the production of plants in our previous class. But this year we will get more into this particular techniques and understand if a similar kind of thing can exist for human beings as well. Okay, so with this thought in mind, let's go ahead and start with the chapter. Now, first of all, let us understand the meaning of cell biology. Cell biology, the other name for cell biology is cytology. Okay, so it basically deals with the study of cells. So when we are going to study cells, what are the different things that we will be studying? We will be looking at the structure of the cell. We will be looking at the type of cells, the different organelles which are present inside the cell, and we will be looking at the process of cell division. Okay, and just to give you a reminder, all these things have already been covered till now. Okay, the structure of the cell you've already learnt in the 8th standard. Type of cells, plant cells, animal cells, that is also covered. Organelles of the cell, what are the different things which are present inside the cell, this has also been covered. And the study of cell division, mitosis and meiosis is what you have already done this year. So we have covered most of these things which are a part of cell biology or cytology. Now, apart from this, there are many other aspects to cytology. Okay, apart from just a study of the structure, the type of cells, the organelles of cells, and the process of cell division, apart from this, there is a lot which can be added to this science of cell biology or to this science of cytology. And all these study has brought about a revolutionary change in the field of human health. Okay. It has brought a lot of progress in the field of science, especially when it comes to developing something new with regards to human health. And the research institutes are specifically set up which are totally dedicated to the study of cells. In India itself, we have two very big centers. We've got the National Center for Cell Science in Pune, and we've got INSTEM in Bangalore, which are totally devoted to the process of the study of cells. Now let us understand what are stem cells. Stem cells are very special types of cells, and these are present in the body of multicellular organisms. And why they are special? They are special because they can give rise to other type of cells in the body. Now in this picture you see the stem cell. So this stem cell can get converted into any of the cells which are mentioned around it. It can get converted into a muscle cell, into a fat cell, into a bone cell, a blood cell, a nervous cell, that is your neurons, the epithelial cell, the immune cell, or the sex cell. So the stem cell can basically get converted into any other type of cell that it has to. So that is why the stem cells are very special type of cells. And apart from getting converted into any other type of cell, stem cells also play a very important role in the process of the healing of any wound. Okay, and last year, as I said before, we have studied about stem cells in plants. This year we will be studying about stem cells in animals, very particularly about stem cells in human beings. Now, as you all have studied in the process of reproduction, what happens is that a new organism is formed from the zygote, that is formed by the union of the male gamete and the female gamete. Your male gamete is the sperm cell and the female gamete is the egg cell. When these two cells unite together, you have a new type of a cell which is formed, which is called as the zygote. And this entire process is called as the process of fertilization. At the very early stage of development, the organism is just in the form of a mass of cells, and all these cells are very much similar to each other. The cells are not yet differentiated into muscle cells or blood cells or heart cells or sex cells or any of these cells. So all the cells which are initially formed during the development of the zygote, all those cells usually look very similar to each other, and that mass of cells is basically your stem cells. Later on, as the zygote develops after further development, those stem cells get transformed into the different types of cells which are required by that particular organism. Different types of tissues are developed which will be performing different functions in the body. So there is a differentiation which happens of the stem cells. However, once the tissues are formed, the cells in those tissues at the most can form the same type of cells only. So once the tissues are formed, you cannot have those stem cells forming different types of tissues. It will continue to form only those type of tissues, and in that, this is the case with each part of the body. However, your stem cells are present for longer duration in certain parts of your body. Okay, we will understand that in the next slide. Now the stem cells are present in the blastocyte stage of the embryonic development. When the fertilized egg starts developing, it gets divided into a 2-cell stage, then into a 4-cell stage, then 8-cell stage and 16-cell stage and so on. And after a certain period of time, it forms into a blastocyst. At this particular stage, the stem cells are present in that particular cell. After that, if you see in the picture below, the stem cells are present in the red bone marrow, and next to it you see that pink bubble like structure, that is the adipose connective tissues. So the stem cells are present in that as well. And on the right hand side, the top picture, the stem cells are also present in the umbilical cord by which the fetus is joined to the uterus of the mother. So the connection, you can say the tube which connects the baby to the mother, that is the umbilical cord. So the stem cells are present in that as well. Now it is possible to produce different types of tissues and the degenerated part of any organ with the help of these stem cells. So with the help of medical technologies, these stem cells can be derived and can be used for a variety of purposes. Now you must have also heard about stem cell preservation. Now stem cell preservation is when the stem cell samples are carefully collected from the various sources. Like when a baby is born, the umbilical cord is kept safely and it is preserved, and the stem cells from it is recovered and safely kept is kept in a box which is surrounded by liquid nitrogen, and this is kept at a temperature of around minus 135 degrees Celsius to minus 190 degrees Celsius. It is kept in very sterile conditions, and it is kept at a very low temperature so that it can remain preserved. So later on in life, if the baby is in need of the stem cells, they can remove it, thaw it up, get it back to normal temperature, and it can be used for that particular child for whatever requirement it has. Similarly, stem cells can also be removed from the bone marrow or from the blastocyte, and it can be kept in sterile conditions and preserved for a certain period of time. Now, in biotechnology, stem cell research, as I said before as well, it is a very revolutionary event which has taken place after the process of cloning. And this technique has the potential of bringing about the very, very great changes in the field of medical sciences. So, depending upon the source, stem cells can be of two types. They can either be called as embryonic stem cells or adult stem cells. Now, what is the meaning of embryonic stem cells? The stem cells which are derived when during the division of the zygote, when that process starts, and the stem cells are recovered at that time. Your zygote undergoes mitotic division. Okay, so at that time, the stem cells which are recovered, they are called as embryonic stem cells. And what are adult stem cells? Adult stem cells can be obtained from the body of an adult person as well. And as I said before, there are basically three main sources for the stem cell in the body of an adult person. Stem cell can be obtained from the red bone marrow, from the adipose connective tissues, and from the blood. And when a baby is born, stem cell can be obtained from the cord blood immediately after the birth of the baby. Now let us understand why stem cells are given so much importance. Stem cells basically help in repairing damaged tissues, and it also helps in regeneration of new tissues. So when it comes to repairing damaged tissues, if there is any damage caused to the brain of a person, the liver, the kidney, the lungs, or the cartilages or the bones of any person, then stem cells can be used for the healing process or for the repairing process of these organs. And it can also be used for the regeneration of new cells when it comes to specific things happening to the heart or to the blood vessels. And these things are basically very helpful for people who are suffering from conditions like diabetes, then heart diseases, Alzheimer's diseases, Parkinson's diseases. It is also helpful in the production of blood cells, which is very much required in conditions like anemia, thalassemia, leukemia. Okay, so that is the reason why stem cells are given so much of importance in the medical sciences right now. So, what are the possibilities? How can your stem cell possibly get converted into so many different types of cells? As it was already explained before, the stem cells has the capacity to get transformed into any cell that it wants to. So it can be used for the brain, for the lungs, for the heart, for the liver, for the kidney. It can be used for in case if they are suffering from any kind of damage or they need any repair. So the stem cells can basically help in the repair and in the repairing of the damage of all these different organs. Now let us look at organ transplantation. What do we understand by the term organ transplantation? Now in case of the failure of organs like kidneys or the liver, these can be produced with the help of stem cell and they can be transplanted. Okay. Now various organs in the human body can become either less efficient or they can become completely functionless or completely useless due to various reasons like the age of the person or due to accidents or due to infections or certain disorders. Now life of such a person can become very difficult, or it can even become a cause of the death of the person. So under such conditions, if the person gets the necessary organ, then it can save the life of that person. Now if a person needs an organ, you cannot just go and ask someone for a person. You require the availability of a donor for the process of organ transplantation. So, the availability of a donor is a very important requirement in organ transplantation. Now, you know very well that each person has got two kidneys. Now, as the process of excretion can occur even with the help of one kidney, a person can easily donate another kidney to any person in need. Similarly, the skin from certain parts of the body can also be donated. So, various factors are considered when you are going to be, donating an organ, like the age of the donor, if that donor is suffering from any kind of diseases or disorders, what is the blood group of the donor. So all these things are taken into consideration and attention is paid to it during the process of transplantation. However, there are other organs which cannot be donated during the lifetime. Okay, for example, organs like the liver, the heart, the eyes, you cannot donate them as long as you are living, but it can definitely be donated after the death of any person. So this has led to the emergence of the a very good thing about donation of body and the donation of organs after the death of the person. So many people have come forward and pledged their organs, that after they die they have donated their organs either to the study, to different colleges, for the medical students to study, or for the purpose of giving life to someone else. Now, the human bodies are disposed of after death as per traditional customs. Like there might be some religions who burn the body, some religions bury the body, some religions incinerate the body. So depending on whatever traditional customs you follow, based on that the human bodies are disposed of after death. However, due to the progress in science, it has been realized that many organs remain functional for a certain period of time even after the death has occurred under specific conditions. Under specific conditions basically means mostly in case of an accident. Okay, so if a person meets with an accident, then it can happen that there are certain organs which can still be functional for a certain period of time. So the concept of organ donation and body donation has emerged recently after realization that such organs can be used to save the life of someone else who is in need of these organs. Now, a liberal view behind the concept of organ and body donation is that after death, our body should be useful to other needful persons so that their miserable life would become comfortable. Now, the person who is dying, you can't do anything about it. But if that person's organs or if that person's body is in some way useful to someone else who is in need of organs, who is on the deathbed, but that person can be saved due to the organs of this person, then it is a very, very, very big thing. And awareness about this concept is now increasing in our country as well, and people are voluntarily donating their body. They are doing it out of their own free will. Now, due to this, the life of many people can be saved. Blind people can regain vision. The life of many people can be made comfortable by by the donation of organs like livers, kidneys, heart, valves of the heart, the skin, etc. Similarly, bodies can be made available for research in medical colleges, and many government and social organizations are working towards increasing the awareness about body donation. With this, dear students, we come to the end of this part. In our next lecture, we will be totally understanding what is biotechnology and the different types of things which are part of biotechnology. So, till we meet again, dear students, stay safe, stay happy. Bye.